Tonight, a Target 12 investigators exclusive pension reform 5 years later. Supporters promised the overhaul would save hundreds of millions of tax dollars immediately and billions more over time.
So is it working, and what kind of impact is it having on retirees who took the biggest hit? Target 12 investigator Tim White is here with his exclusive findings.
We are coming up on a very important year in the pension reform law. In 2017, state officials will determine if the pension fund is healthy enough to give thousands of retired government workers a boost in their checks. It was a tense time.
You know what I asked you to do? Do it again!
Please remove yourself, or I will have you removed.
Despite strong opposition from unions, state lawmakers overwhelmingly passed a sweeping pension reform law championed by then-Treasurer Gina Raimondo. With a stroke of 15 pens, then-Governor Lincoln Chafee signed the bill into law on November 18, 2011. The bulk of the $4 billion in savings came from freezing cost of living increases, or COLAs, for retirees.
I think it was very unfair. And I think the reason it was unfair is because she once said she would never take anything away from us. And she did. She took that COLA.
Retiree Dolores Brissett worked at Rhode Island College for 2 decades. She says, like everyone else, her bills are only going up, but her monthly pension check isn't.
These were all expenses that were not counted on.
You know, look, I understand that. It's harder for her. You know, it's less money in her wallet than she was expecting.
Now, as governor, Raimondo's argument hasn't changed. She says reform secured the retirement system for everyone long term, and this year alone saved taxpayers from having to put almost $300 million more into the pension fund.
I can't imagine trying to balance this budget if we hadn't done pension reform. I can't even get my head around how painful that would have been.
So far, the latest numbers show the law has met expectations. A 2015 examination shows the pension shortfall has shrunk to $4.6 billion, down from as high as nearly $9 billion without reform. The numbers show the shortfall has shrunk slightly faster than originally forecast. 5 years later, is pension reform working?
Well, not for a lot of the people whose pensions got cut, I suppose. That's one perspective.
NEA Teachers Union Executive Director Robert Walsh says he and Raimondo share something in common. His members are angry with both of them.
And by the way, loss of faith in us, because to the extent that Labor's supposed to be a watchdog on this, we get a lot of folks saying, well, how could you have let this happen?
You get a lot of anger?
Oh, sure.
Still?
Yeah, absolutely.
Unions in the state settled a pension reform lawsuit in 2015, and they decided to review where things stand every 4 years to determine if retirees can get some sort of a COLA increase. But it's determined by a number of factors, including how well the pension fund's investments are performing. Walsh says because of that, retirees are now more than ever focused on the state's investment portfolio, and they are angry over the poor performance of hedge funds that Raimondo invested in when she was treasurer. Do you regret that decision?
I don't know. I think we made the right decision with the information we had at that time. The problem is, here's the temptation, which is, you know, in the last stock market crash, the reason people got so hurt and retirees lost so much money is because the whole portfolio was correlated with the market. So we had to do something to fix that. And the products we picked was the best option we had.
Can you ever forgive Governor Raimondo?
No. I don't see any reason to forgive her.
Both Walsh and a spokesperson for the Treasurer's office say they do expect retirees to see some sort of COLA bump in 2017. Numbers coming out next month should give a better idea as to how much. Now, new at 6 o'clock, could the pension reform fight return here to the House chamber? Some labor leaders say their fight isn't over yet. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.
We have new details in our Target 12 investigators exclusive pension reform 5 years later. We're examining the landmark pension reform law, how it's performed and how it's affecting retirees.
And new at 6 tonight, one of the state's top labor leaders says unions plan on going back to the General Assembly to try and reopen some of the law. Let's get right to Target 12 investigator Tim White, who has some of the exclusive details.
For some lawmakers that were part of the 2011 pension reform law, it may be the last thing they want to hear. It could be back. The 2011 pension reform law, championed by then Treasurer Gina Raimondo, was designed to save $4 billion over time, primarily by freezing cost of living increases or COLAs for retirees. It's been 5 years. Are you still angry?
Yes, I am. Because, as I said, she took away something that she said she would not take away if we had it.
State retiree Dolores Brissett no longer has an annual COLA. She could see one every 4 years, depending on the health of the retirement system. COLAs will return annually when the pension plan is 80% funded. The latest figures show it's on track to come back in about 15 years.
I'm 74 now. That's how many more years? Add them up. What's that going to do for me then? I need it now. Now is when I'm living.
You know, in my professional life, I would say by far this was the most difficult issue we had to grapple with.
NEA Teachers Union Executive Director Robert Walsh says labor leaders are hearing a lot of stories like Brissett's and are planning on bringing them to lawmakers.
I won't be shy about going back to the legislature someday and saying, hey, history proved you cut too deep. Let's start restoring things faster than the original plan. We're not going to make the COLAs come more rapidly.
Walsh says they don't have any legislation waiting in the wings, but there are a lot of ways the issue could be tackled, like returning COLAs when the plan is 75% funded instead of 80%, or even doing something outside the pension law, like giving retirees a separate payment from within the state budget. Are you open to that? Revisiting all this again?
No, I don't think that is a responsible thing to do for his members. We have a system that's healthy. We have a system that's secure.
Governor Gina Raimondo says with just 5 years in, it's too premature to talk about revisiting pension reform.
This isn't just about retirees. This is about the 13,000 state employees who go to work every day, who were in their 20s, 30s, and 40s and deserve a pension to be there.
Walsh says the issue is bigger than money.
It has made our folks, government employees, very, very cynical about government because they had spent their whole careers, and this goes for retirees as well, who, you know, folks had already retired, believing in this promise, believing, you know, trusting government.
2017 is a big year in the pension reform law. Retirees will likely see some sort of a COLA bump. How much will be determined by several factors, including how well the state's investments performed. We'll know more in December. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, Eyewitness News.